Let's continue on to talking about passing your exams and that magic number. Please keep in mind that your exams are reported on a scale from 100 to 300, with 100 points being 0% and 300 being that perfect score of 100%. We don't care about that. Please note that we are wanting you to score that 240 magic number. Also note that you are not penalized for wrong answers. So it is appropriate to make an educated guess when it applies. That's when you are not sure what the correct answer is. You should be using your testing strategies as well as your knowledge to be eliminating those answers that do not belong there. So it is okay to make an educated guess. But remember, you are not penalized for those wrong answers. We are only wanting the score of the correct answers. So keep that in mind. 240, that's the number you need to get. So try to answer as many as the ones that you know have the correct answer choices. Also to note, and this has been going on a lot throughout the semester and the summer as well, you may encounter some testing irregularities. If you do, at any moment that happens, immediately notify the state assessments coordinator, your field supervisor, if you're an internship one, and also your academic advisor. I've run into so many students that wait until the week or two after that happens and they don't report it. And again, where you guys are on a timeline, you have a deadline to meet. So this can affect it if you don't report it in time. So let me give you some examples of some testing irregularities you may run into. This may include having technical issues. You are sitting down taking your test and your computer turns off. The power goes off. It glitches. They make you move to another computer, etc. If that happens to you, stop. Don't take the test. Tell them, no, I'll come back the next day or the following day. Reassess your priorities. There's no reason why you should continue taking the test if you've had that happen. Number one, that's not your fault. That was a testing facility irregularity. You can go back and reschedule it for another day. I would prefer you do that instead of having your anxiety and your stress levels go even higher than they were when you first started taking the test. So you do have rights. Do not finish that test if you're not comfortable doing that. Another example of a testing irregularity or situation you may run into is tests are canceled, either by Pearson or the location. Unfortunately, we are still 2 years into COVID. This is still continuing to happen. Some of these locations are canceling last minute, 24 hours, or the day of the exam. If that happens, and make sure you let your state assessment coordinator know and your academic advisor, because this is not your fault. This is on that testing location. The next thing I want to mention is if you are wanting to appeal your scores, that means you don't want to send them in. You maybe sat down, did not have a good confidence, and you just didn't feel right taking the exams. Make sure you let us know before you do that. Do not appeal without contacting me, your state assessment coordinator, your field supervisor as well. We have to be in contact. And I'll give you an example. I had several students this semester who took the STR. They were not comfortable with it. They appealed, but they never notified us. And so when we found out, and I did some digging and research, I learned that when you appeal your test scores, it takes longer than the 3 to 4 weeks to get your score reports back. So some of these students, because they appealed, ended up missing that deadline for their exams to be passed because we were pending results. Had I known that ahead of time, I could have made some accommodations. But again, it's very important for you to communicate with everyone about these decisions or these irregularities that you're encountering while you're taking your exam. If you need any other assistance, I highly encourage that you reach out to your advisor. But if it's regarding your testing approval, resources, study material, or document submissions, please always reach out to your site assessment coordinator because we have valuable resources to share with you. And then as well as you have any questions, please visit the state assessment's website for more information. And I'm actually going to go over this within the next 5 minutes to kind of show you just what it entails. So let me move that up here. I believe that's good. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is our state assessment website. If you go into just the main University of Houston website and you type in on the search bar, state assessments, click go. My website is the very first one that pulls up. You click on that, you will see, very similar to this PowerPoint, the information that you can have in resources by visiting this website. So let me show you really quick. The STR has its own separate link. The professors for the triple LSs have done a great job compiling and sharing their information with me. But again, this is a great resource for you to have to see what the exam is going to be about and what you can use to prepare for it. So for instance, the STR, it tells you the 5 education certification areas that it covers. This is a direct link to the content that might be that has the information available for the structure of the exam. Here's the preparation manual, hyperlinked as well. In addition to that, some free webinars, free resources that you can use to help you prepare for that. Now, keep in mind, you are going through this website. This also counts as preparation, so you should be documenting it on your PSPs as well. Clicking on these webinars, watching them, being a part of them, this should all be documented as well. And then lastly, you have the constructed response examples. These are actually videos that our professors from the language, arts, literacy, and literature studies have provided for you to give you examples on how to answer those constructive writing pieces. So again, very useful information. These are just some teaching and study aids for the STR that you can use. But if you go back to my main homepage for state assessments, you will see my information, my phone number, the state assessments email. This is where you would see the available certification areas that I showed you on the PowerPoint. Here is our exam policy and procedures. You are undergraduate students, so all of you fall under initial certification Texas exam policy. So if I click on that, it'll open up this PDF format for you, which tells you specifically, just like I went over, your order of attempts. What do you need to do? So just to summarize really quick, everyone's going to start out on this first attempt after they get their credit for TCED 4100, right? And they're in TEP. The next step is they're going to take a practice exam, pass with 80%. Make sure they submit their PSPs to State Assessments Coordinator. And then after that, if it's reviewed and accepted, then you will get an email confirmation. So here is step 1 for your first attempt. If you are not successful, the following steps tell you what to do in order to get that approval. So please keep that in mind. Everything is on the website like I've shared with you. If you need a summary or just more clarification on the steps to get your exam approval, these accordion files will actually tell you. Again, step number 1, complete a study plan. Step number 2, take a practice exam. Step number 3, take the actual exam if you are approved. If you click on it specifically, again, you can click this hyperlink right here, and it'll give you that blank PSP document to fill out. Here is the direct links to those resources that you can use to take a practice exam, your REA manual, certified teacher, 240 tutoring, the Pearson website that we're going to go visit in a little bit. Again, it tells you step by step what to do. And then finally, how to take the test. Everything is at your hands by visiting this website. Any upcoming workshops, whether they're free or they have some kind of student co-fee on there as well, will be linked on here. So as you can see, one of our last workshops that we had were the BTLPT. Anytime I see a free webinar or any kind of Facebook material that's free for you guys, I will also try to upload it here as well. Then the last part is, here you will find your preparation resources. So again, these are additional resources and study aids like your REA manual that you can use. If you click on here, specifically, these are some PDF files that have been compiled and introduced. They're hyperlinked specifically by the exams. You can click on them to learn more about what's available, whether it's the PPR, core subjects, 4 through 8, EC through 6. All of this is available to you for free. Secondary has its own as well. You can click on that to see. It's actually broken down by the content. So if you are needing for ELAR reading, social studies, and history, again, math, everything is on here, PE and art. Feel free to go through these as well. These should be your first steps before you reach out to me and tell me, Ms. Lily, I don't have anything. What can I use? Okay. Specifically, if you're interested in purchasing a monthly subscription to Certified Teacher or 240 Tutoring, this is also a great resource that you can use. It tells you specifically what promo code to use your email, how much it costs a month for you to pay as a student fee versus the regular price. The same goes for 240 Tutoring. It's half off. It's a little bit different than Certified Teacher. If you're interested in 240 Tutoring, click this information, read over it. All I'm going to need from you is just an email saying that you're interested in receiving the discounted rate, and then I send you an invite through the email. But in addition to that, there's also these resources on the website. We have the TEA Learn, which is a free resource for you guys that offers modules, offers online workshops that are free at your own pace. So let me scroll down. As you guys can see, there's tons of bilingual education modules that are at your own. You can use these, again, either for your professional development hours or your PSP hours to fill out as well. If you're interested in the reading for STR, click on that or type it up and it'll pull up several workshops for you if you're needing something with social studies. Again, there's tons and tons of material. This one, it actually has to do with the ESL and social studies. So again, it's free. It tells you how many hours you get a credit, when the program starts, or when you can start it on your own. So please visit that as well. And then